Okay, so me trying to figure out where to start the story from. I'ma start from July of 23. Last year when I first started making these videos, I started at work. That's where you can see like the change from me going from the charcoal color shirt with my name on it to like a t-shirt. You can hear the kids in the background sometimes. So just, you know, that little bit of overview. So the reason why I started working from home, July, as I started making these videos, right? And that was in 2023. I started in July. The prior year in July of 2022, I found out I was allergic to nickel. Mind you, I had 2 kids. I got pregnant in 2019, had my daughter in 2020, but because of the pandemic, I wasn't working around any of the chemicals. 2021, when I got pregnant, I had my son at the end of the year, but something happened during that pregnancy where it exposed me the more I worked in the environment. And 2022, after the pregnancy, and I kind of like, you know, started coming back to myself, I noticed that the reaction that I had while I was pregnant, it didn't go away. And so June and July of 2022, I was going for different testings and all this stuff to the dermatologist to try to figure out what was going on. I found out I'm allergic to nickel sulfate, right? This is in 2022. A year to date, 2023 July, I start this TikTok. And I'm doing all of these videos and everything, and one day I'm at work and I overhear a conversation, which I feel like was meant for me to hear. But somebody says, yeah, I'm about to go destroy these nickel plates. And I'm like, nickel plates? And so they're like, yeah, why are you so concerned? I'm like, I'm allergic to nickel, right? So I never knew. Mind you, I've been working in this, in the Department of Treasury for, this was at the time 7 years. And I was involved, like heavily involved in different departments, different areas, everything, because I had moved around a couple times getting promotions. And so I was like 4 months into my new promotion, I overheard this conversation. And I was like, oh no, like this is crazy. But I kept it to myself until I had went back and got all of my paperwork to present all of the information to, you know, management. Like, hey, I can't work in this environment. It's detrimental to my health. And so they're like, okay, well, we're going to set up a process. You can go through the process. But at first they didn't believe me. So I was like, I can't be around this stuff. And I had to work. I had to come. I still had to physically go in the building, right? It wasn't until this one day, I was like, Jada, you just got to show them. And I made a video and I was like, y'all need to, you know, be proud of your scars and your flaws and all this stuff. And I had to literally roll my arm sleeve up and show my supervisor that, hey, these chemicals have been tearing my skin up, right? And had I known it before, I would have said something before. But that was a moment of vulnerability and transparency for me, where my supervisor is a guy. Not saying that he cared or he don't. I'm not sure. But the way that he turned and said, okay, no, I see. Like, I can physically see it now. Let me do something about this, right? And so I started working from home. Somebody on Instagram DM'd me and said, something with your job, something is going to happen with your job, but I don't want you to be afraid. Something crazy. They sent me, they commented on a video on Instagram, and I was like, what in the world? Like, leave me alone about me and my job. And I deleted it and I blocked the person. In hindsight, I'm like, dang, God was sending somebody to warn me about what was going on. Because a couple days later is when I found out that nickel was present in my at my job, right? And so over the course of the last, I guess, 11 months, I've been working from home. And it's been a lot of back and forth, you know, them trying to get me back in the building because I've been out for too long. And like I said, I feel like I've been doing a disservice to y'all by not giving y'all, you know, the full story. Because it's so much more to me than just what's going on at work. But that is where my journey started. It started at work, where I felt like I had to deliver a message. So over the next, I don't know how long it's going to take for me to tell my story, but just expect the videos, piece by piece. And I'm not looking for anything to come from this. Y'all can comment, y'all can, you know, send messages. I'm open to answering questions. What I will say is pay attention to yourselves. Because like I said, I was working, and yes, I had some symptoms, and I just thought that it was something outside of my job that was doing this, because it hadn't taken effect like it did when I was pregnant. Like the exposure and the hormones coming together, it was just so terrible. And yeah, I'm still working through it. It's still like, I still have visible scars. I still have it. And it's going away, but I feel like it's going away because I've prayed and prayed. And the dermatologist, like, it's a long story with the dermatologist that's going to be featured in one of the videos. The back and forth between my job and where I am right now, that's definitely coming. But yeah, I'm just giving it to y'all real raw, transparent, because I mean, at the end of the day, we all got a story, and I just want to make sure that I'm being obedient and giving y'all what I was told to give. And that's it. So comment, share if you know somebody who done worked for the Bureau and I mean they experiencing some symptoms, or you just want to know like what the symptoms are that I was experiencing. Don't ask me, I answer your questions.